Is there more to my identity than this? Is this my will or the will of somebody else? Is this emotional, psychological, and mental conditioning worth more than my friends? I truly question if Sanji's traits and personality will truly ever be accepted in a narrative as a functional part of its identity, or will it always be the phenotypic reminder of why he's an inferior version to his comrades? The line between chivalry and common decency has been blurred in the characterization of Vinsmoke Sanji. A gesture of goodwill from Sanji has always been viewed with great suspicion from those inside and outside the narrative. Perhaps it is not the gesture made by the individual, but the assumption that any good gesture, sexual advances, or even well-intended chivalry is, in some way, an affirmation of weakness in a cruel world where both men and women possess the same disposition to be both violent and oppressive. I don't believe that Sanji is a simp nor a man who truly cares about women. Sanji reflects the common decency of submission that men have to a woman's beauty but not to her overall well-being. Sanji uses chivalrous behavior as a pickup tactic, hoping or expecting to get something in return for his service to a woman's every need and desire. That type of utilitarian attitude makes chivalry a tool for sexual pursuit that, under the guise of courtesy, becomes meaningless and susceptible to being hijacked for self-serving purposes. I am going to defend the pseudo-perverted chivalrous behavior that Sanji exhibits, as I think that it will play a vital role in him taking a step in the right direction when the time is right in regards to utilizing his newly acquired raid suit. There is a chance for mental metamorphosis for Sanji to discard the trauma attached to his family's name and their inventions by mimicking his predatory norms towards a woman, but instead of women being a target towards Vinsmokes. The way Sanji sees a woman through a romanticized lens opposed to a progressive and enlightened perspective directly correlates to how he needs to fundamentally position himself mentally in order to overcome the mental block it takes to don on the raid suit. The concept of chivalry and its imposing values has dominated Sanji's approach to almost everything and everyone. He has been forced to use a method of trial and error in assessing every area of social activities when women or men are concerned. Eliminate the men and cater to the woman. That mindset is destructive in most environments, but for Sanji to come to the depressing realization that his family, Germa 66, have and will always play a bigger role in his life, he needs to eliminate his past troubles and feelings and cater to what's important. Honor has always been the most important feature of chivalry. The idea of chivalry began as a militaristic application of honor. It has a set of code of conduct between men and women where the greatest thing a man could ever do for a woman is die for her. That idea is a bit extreme in the real world. However, the application of such self-sacrifice is something that is valuable in a pirate crew. The situation will arrive where Sanji will need to put the collective safety of his crew over his selfish mannerisms. The One Piece narrative is made and break through antagonistic forces clashing with their protagonistic counterparts. Power is a necessary prerequisite required to dominate your opponent. Judging by Sanji's current strength and comparing that to the level required to be of any match to that of a Yonko commander, it is certain that the raid suit is definitely needed. That raid suit is a representation of the childhood that Sanji never had. Its late arrival compared to the arrival of his siblings can also be looked at as a physical reminder of him always being left behind and being an afterthought. Sanji's interpretation of his siblings and his childhood can no longer be indicative of his actions going forward. He has to overcome this. There are two ways to look at any task. You can either look at a task and see it as an everlasting burden which you constantly undermine via doubt, which in the end translate into a mindset dubbed by social scientists as a prevention focus. You can also look at a task as something you need to do because you see it as a way to end up bettering yourself in order to claim it as an accomplishment or an achievement. That's dubbed as a promotional focus. Guess which psychological mentality Sanji has towards his family and their inventions compared to the one he needs to have? It won't be easy for Sanji to be willingly complicit in participating in an institution of power where the values and convictions he champions isn't valued by that said institution. Judge has created a scientific revolution void of any participation in normal usage of power. His power system realigns and challenges the perception of the coupling of power with morality. Concept and values like kindness and integrity is considered outdated and rightfully displaced by boorish behavior which operates in a heated, emotionless environment. Despite not being completely selfish, Sanji is not completely selfless either. He's consistently inconsistent when he's required to be a sacrificial ransom. But in the inevitable future scenario where his sacrifice of pride will be tested, I am confident that Sanji will pull through. Overall, Chivalry had more to do with an immense respect for women as the bearer of the human race than attention to any kind of perceived fragility of the female sex. Similarly to the prioritization of a needed function, the survival and well-being of his friends should be something that acts as a catalyst for immense respect and a call of duty for Sanji to do what must be done to ensure just that. I hope it will be epic. Many thanks for watching. Lando out, Exodus.